County FFA. Fifth, Blakely Bowles from Franklin 4-H. Fourth, Ellie Dixon, Marion FFA. Third, Reagan Parker from Johnson County Middle FFA. Second, Braylon Fitzgerald from Stevens 4-H. And winning 6th grade showmanship this morning is Harvey Harold from Berrien County FFA. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is Now entering the ring is Class 7, 7th grade showmanship. think the quality was really good from top to bottom, honestly. It was a bit challenging for me to kind of sort through them as we got closer to the top. It was just kind of those nitpicky things, just hit me or they don't hit me that I kind of like or I don't like. That's what's going on. I've got a top 3 out here that I think do a very good job. And there's one out here that this person does really well in my style and everything. I think there's just times where the person just goes a bit too slow and I need to get going a bit faster and he's using the range of best of his ability, but there's times where I think I'm catching him just a bit too far and drifting just a bit away. That seems to be young man in the orange. That's nothing to take away from him. I think does a really good job. I love his intensity. Very good eye contact. He came out very strong. I just think that's something that's just my personal preference when it comes to this close qualifying. I think as you get closer to the top tier right here, really makes you very respectable. I think there's the one that's very relaxed and, maybe he's not super my style, but he does a very good job. And then on the other hand, you have the young lady that's super intense, super driven. She physically going very, very well. And I think it's really close between the two. I think there's one that's just a bit faster paced. Hit me when she first came out. That's going to be the young lady. She's going to be first. And the young man's going to be second. Congratulations. That's probably the good. Placing in 8th is Garrett Cox, Jackson County 4H. 7th, Talia Thomas, Rankin County FFA. 6th, Emma Gabriel, Overford County Middle FFA. 5th, Elizabeth Blackwell, Houston County 4H. 4th, Drake Wright, Jeff Davis Middle FFA. 3rd, Parker Clark, Franklin 4H. 2nd, Easton Maddox, Pickens FFA. And winning 7th grade showmanship, Emma Halsey, Berrien County FFA. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is 8th grade showmanship. Class 8, 8th grade showmanship. Another very good age division. Let's do up all these exhibitors that came through in this particular age division, especially the top three that I kept out here. In my mind, they were the ones that sorted up for personal preference, just able to get their pigs, around the ring, able to get them driven. And I think they're all different in their type of time, which, is a bit interesting to me, but saying the same thing, they all get the job done. They're all out here, they're all getting driven, they're all getting those things that I kind of like. Maybe have different styles, but at the same time, they're still doing exactly what they need to do in showmanship. And I think there's one or two out here that kind of sort up for me, and it's nothing to take away from those young ladies that's going to go in third. I think there were just times where whenever I want those angles, I think she was just kind of going side to side, and I kind of wanted more of a front and a back view. And it's just personal preference. It's just things like that where it gets a bit picky of a choice. It's going to be the young lady in the black shirt over here, but she did a very good job, nothing to take away from her. And as it gets closer from the top here that we have out here, they both do a very good job. I think there's one that's a bit more laid back, but at the same time, she's very intense. And then I think there's one that she gets out here, does a very good job. She's a bit, she's a bit more driven, which is kind of what I like. I think there's just times where I think she just gets a bit slower, but still, she gets the head up, she gets it driven, she does a very phenomenal job. The young lady in purple is going to be a champion, and the young lady in blue is going to be the second place. Congratulations to our 8th grade showman this morning. In 11th place is Brinley Winsley from Franklin County Middle FFA. 10th goes to Casey Bowles from Franklin 4-H. 9th, Holden Blackwell, Perry FFA. 8th, Hayden Moss, East Jackson Middle FFA. 7th, Kinsley Peoples, Stevens FFA. 6th, Jesse Cox, Jackson County 4-H. 5th, Harley McAwee, Perry FFA. 4th, Paisley Peoples, Franklin County 4-H. 3rd, Charlie Fleming, Madison County 4-H. 2nd, Chloe Vaughn, Jefferson City FFA. And winning 8th grade showmanship, Bailey Ball from Campbell County, Tennessee 4-H. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is our 9th grade showmanship. This morning, our silver sponsors are Montauk, Halbrook Tree Service, Jackson EMC, Jackson County Board of Commissioners, and Chairman Mr. and Mrs. Clark, G-Force Underground Telecommunications, WT Donahue and Associates, Custom Livestock Solutions, Cross G Veterinarian Services, and Sweetman Tractor Repair and Service. Thank you again for being our silver sponsors this morning. to remind everybody the concession stand is open and still serving breakfast. We also have Zoe Snow Cone outside if you are wanting something with a cold treat. And Cherry Street is back there if you're looking for some shopping. So we have Cherry Street at the concession, we have breakfast at the concession, and then out around the back barn area we have Zoe Snow Cones. Positions here, and let's go around the block to all of them because I think that, the competition in there is about feeling, honestly. I've got quite a few close calls that I've had to make and few decisions, it was just choices that were just types and kinds and it just personal preference. And I know when I was, ringside, I decided to run this just to fade out, but, coming out of mine, you totally understand what it is. Personal preference that makes this close calls, and, we've got a lot of good showdown here. It's just things we have to do like that. And I think some of my top three out here do a very good job. And they're all so close. There's just a few nitpicky things that separate a few of them. Whether it's, I just want you to get that head up a bit more, whether I want you to go just a bit faster, whether you're just honestly, your pace just needs to be a little bit more using the whip in terms of the right placing and the right timing. I think my third place, did do a very good job. There's just times where I'm just catching, just one bit too slow, I need to go a bit faster. Just so they're able to make those long turns and able to get in front of me more and getting more angles. That's solely the reason it's going to be young man in the orange, but still, killer for contention, very good job. And that's what I'm going to take away from the two ladies out here. I think they do really well. I don't know how calm they are, but so intense. I think there's one who just does a really good job. And, my second place, I really, really liked her. But as the time got on, I think the pace just got a bit too fast. And I just think I need that consistent pace throughout the time. Then I was the second, and then I was the first. Congratulations.
Here's a skinny coaster. Who's out there? It's y'all stuff?
FFA. 9, Amy Cole, Pike County FFA 4H. 8, Raylan Duker from Hudson Lee Thomas Elder of Coney FFA. 5th, Brantley Bowles from Franklin 4-H. 4th, Steele Smith, Perry High FFA. 3rd, Carson Page, Jefferson City FFA. 2nd, Jody Holsey, Berrien County FFA. And winning 9th grade showmanship is Caitlin White, Jefferson City FFA. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is our 10th grade showmanship. At the She Shed Shenanigans vendor. So if you are missing Spider-Man, he has been found at the She Shed Shenanigans vendor spot. for randomly selected winning prizes. So our first set of prizes will go to Kinley Morrell, Holden Blackwell, Matt Burnett, Kaiser Hubbard, and Will Matthews. So if your name was called, come to the concession stand and we have some prizes. So again, those names are Kinley Morrell, Holden Blackwell, Matt Burnett, Kaiser Hubbard, and Will Matthews.
And I think from top to bottom, all of these kids offer so much quality, right? I mean, they get these things driven, and it's honestly just impressive. You know, when I first agreed to do this, I knew there was going to be lots of quality out here, lots of good shows, and had lots of experience. But I wasn't expecting it from such a young age, and so to continue it throughout, I was honestly extremely impressed. And then I got my top 3 out here, and I think there's 2 that rise to the top fairly easily for me. And then I think there's 1, you know, that kind of just sorts in third, just as the time goes on, it's going to get faster paced and you can go a bit more. I think there's times where your stops and starts, and I just need you to keep going that to make this 2 turns. It's going to be the young lady in the middle here, she's going to be third, but still a good job for her. And then the top 2, I think it's a lot closer, but in my mind, there was just 1 that hit me fresh out the gate. I mean, came in with that intensity, came in driven, just drove the entire time. The smooth turns are so smooth. It's honestly just effortless for this person. They're here to be champions, they're here to be out.
Okay, well, I told him he'd be in at 10:15, so I'll text you guys. Okay.
Championship. In 12th place is Jason Brown, Monroe County Mary Persons High School FFA. 11th is Marilyn Raines from Perry High FFA. 10th, Connor Mills, Jefferson City FFA. 9th place, Ayla Fleming from Stevens County FFA. 8th, Haley Cottrell, Jackson and Power FFA. 7th, Trenton Wilt from Stevens County FFA. 6th, Riley Wainwright, Hudson Lee FFA. 5th place, Keaton Acree from Barrow 4-H. 4th, Robin Neal from Perry FFA. 3rd place, Katie Weaver, Cook FFA. 2nd, Brooks Crane from Jefferson City FFA. And winning 10th grade showmanship, Nancy Johnson from Pickens High FFA. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is 11th grade showmanship.
start off this particular age division. And in my mind, there's guys that I'm going to keep out here, or that I'm going to hold back to compete in the final drive of this age division. In my mind, they just hit me fresh out the gate. Like I said when I first started, and you can kind of tell, first impressions are my biggest thing. And like I said, that's your time for you to show me, your work that you've done with my undivided attention. It's really important, and I understand we have days where things don't work with us, but still, that's something, you gotta kind of have pat down in order for me to pull you back. And in my mind, things just kind of sorted out by themselves. Like I said, I'm gonna pick five. I'm gonna keep the young lady right here, the young lady over here, the young lady in the pink, the young man in the orange, and the young man in the red. Congrats to all these exhibitors.
Your end. You can get a skinny time. You're doing true. You're doing pretty good. Did you then?
I need no damn water, but damn juice goes up. Yeah, that's good too. Okay, yeah.
Do our Kiwi showmanship. So if you're interested in that, just keep your ears open and we will do a call for that. But we are doing Kiwi showmanship. So that would be anybody 4 years old and younger and that did not participate in the pre-K first grade. But that will take place after the 12th grade final drive of showmanship.
division. And I'm going to pull back another 5 just so I can give you a top 10 in your final drive for this age division. And these scored up in my mind rather fast and pretty easy to me, just in terms of getting all the things that I like, making those long, wide turns and staying in front of me and keeping that intensity. And I think there's some, that we struggle with the rain a little bit out here, and I understand animals don't want to quite work with us, but it's just how you come back from that, it'll sort you up. And I'm just going to start off, you'll be coming back, you'll be coming back, you'll be coming back, you'll be coming back, and then the young lady, and you'll be coming back. Congrats to all these exhibitors. round of applause for all of these kids. And I understand, I took quite a bit of time on this, but, and when I was on the other side of the ring, I always complained that I would be driving and the judge would just take forever and, ask questions, and I hated when they ask questions. But then when it comes down to making these tough choices, I want to give them the best, I want to give them the best chance to prove me that they deserve to win. And so I went and asked them the exact same question on down the line. What they feed, why they feed, if there's, something they could change about that animal, or what was the best attribute in terms of market or breeding pieces. And, I understand showing in the ring is super important, but still, knowing, stuff about your animal and things about your animal and why you have this animal in your farm is extremely important. Because as you grow up and grow in this industry, you won't be showing anymore. You'll be breeding, or, you'll be doing other things. You'll be talking on the So it's super important to know those kind of things. On the other side of just having a very good style of showmanship. And I work these four up to the top, and I think they do a phenomenal job. And like I said, I'm sorry for working you guys too hard. I know you guys got a long day ahead of you. But like I said, I want to give you the best chance, and I want you to be able to prove me why you deserve to win. And in my mind, there's two out here kind of sort of just, rather fast, and just in terms of their skill, in terms of the way they use the ring, in terms of their answer, how hard they hit me when they came out, and it's honestly impressive. But I'll start with my third and fourth, and it's really close between this pair. I think there were just times I caught this young person on the wrong side, or maybe just being a bit too slow and not being able to get around the ring, and that's the young man right here, but still, congratulations to him. The person that goes in third, nothing to take away, but like I said, first impressions are extremely important for me. And when you don't hit me right off the gate, it's got to cut your points. It's got to cut you a bit down. And, not saying I didn't do it the best. I was just looking for the angles and I only got a side view. But still, did a phenomenal job out here. Drove really, really well. That's going to be the young lady over here who's going to be third. And then at my top pair between the two of these, honestly, it's really impressive. And both of these do a phenomenal job getting the show. Smooth turns, long turns, but still keeping the distance to me. Being able to find those holes. And when it comes close to all of them, those are the things that you have to do. You have to be the one that's leading the pace. You have to be the one that's finding those holes and turning and making all those choices. And like I said, it's picking hairs between the two of them. I think they both do a phenomenal job. You're going to be champion. You'll be with us. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our 11th grade showman this morning. In 10th place is Bryson Buxton from Johnson County FFA. 9th, Mallory Stowe, Stevens County FFA. 8th, Cooper Pless, Stevens FFA. 7th, Abby Gabriel, Madison 4-H. 6th, Owen Bridges, Berry High FFA. 5th, Emery Lane, Berry High FFA. 4th, Brady Peters, Monroe Area FFA. 3rd, Kinsley Steele, Jefferson City FFA. 2nd, Madeline Hicks, Pickens High FFA. And winning 11th grade showmanship, Leela Hummingberger from East Manatee Show Stop 4-H. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is E1 of our 12th grade showmanship. So here goes. Our first name is Jenna Cave, Emma Falsley, Callie Cantrell, and Patty Gray Cox. So again, those winners are Jenna Cave, Emma Falsley, Callie Cantrell, and Katie Gray Cox. If you're going to the announcer table, we have some prizes for you.
Okay, to start this particular age division, and my apologies, you guys have been here so long on the last age division. I'll try to keep it rather quick. The talent is just impressive. So I'll keep it simple and I'll talk them later on. But I'm going to keep the young man right there in the curly here. I'm going to keep the young man in the black and then the young man in the purple. And I'm just going to keep 3. But congratulations to all the exhibitors.
Ben. Ben! Ben! Come down here! Sit over there.
Yes, ma'am.
The young man in the pink, the young lady in the yellow, and the young lady in the red. And that's all we can do.
So can we just take the yoga going back to the pin?
Go!
Now, junior ring is class 15. It's heat 3 of 12th grade showmanship. This is our final heat of 12th grade. So our heat 3 of 12th grade showmanship going into the ring.
here today. And I think every single one of these kids that has came through in this division has done a phenomenal job. They all have, other type of kind, personal preference, style, anything. They're still doing respectable and getting their animals shown. So congratulations to all of them on doing that very well. I'm only going to keep 3 back from this class, and then we'll go to the final drive. The young man in the blue, the young lady in the green, and then the young lady in the pink right in front of me. Congrats to all these exhibitors.
Ricky. Ricky.
And doing Kiwi showmanship, so that's 4 years old and under. And we will be gathering up for that. So Kiwi showmanship will take place immediately following the 12th grade drive. 50% off. So if you are hungry, head that way. Lunch is ready to be served also. But if you are in the mood for some breakfast food, that is currently on a flash sale for 50% off. Garner and Gemma Cave to come to the announcer table, please. Emerson, Garner, and Gemma Cave, either you or your parents, please come to the announcer table, please.
Give it up for all these kids in this particular division. Honestly, I'm at a loss for words at how competitive you guys are and how well all of you guys have sold today. And just every single person that I've met has been so respectful and so nice. And listen to the critiques and tell you guys, and I really appreciate that. And whether you think I'm right or wrong, that's based off you, but still thank you for being respectful and allowing me to work with your kids and things like that. This is by far the hardest that I've had to pick between today. I think this top four right here is just killer in terms of their style, in terms of getting the animals strong, and I'm sorry again for maybe wearing them out, but I still want to give your kids the best opportunity, and I don't want to, speed and rush things and not make my best choice. And I feel like the top four that I have right there are very good, are all very respectable, and I'm going to start with the fourth place, and still, it's very close. It's those choices that I have to make, and sometimes it's not fun, but still, it's just what I have to do. And I think, as the drive went on, this person just got a bit slower, I just still need that intensity to be kept throughout. I understand it's hot, but still, you gotta keep on, you gotta do it for us. And so, we're gonna get into the top first two. I think it's just really close to the I think they all do a phenomenal job. I think there's just times where, I look over and maybe you're not keeping that eye contact with the other star, or maybe you're not keeping, that close distance, or maybe you're just drifting too far from me and have to look and find you. But still, this person still does a very good job. And I've been really watching this person show throughout this young man in the black excuse me. And then the young lady, so seamless in all of her movements, so effortless. It's honestly so impressive how every place I look, she's there. She's got a killer eye contact, very good in terms of her drive. Both of them are, honestly, it's super close between the two. There's just one that as soon as they came out, I knew they were going to be in my top two. If not for first place, you'll be champagne, you'll be reserved.
For judging our showmanship classes this morning. Let's please give her a warm thank you for sorting through these kiddos and wish her well traveled as she goes back to Mississippi. Pascal and Colby Taylor to come to the announcement table, please. Senior showman, so placings for that class in 10th is Emily Wall, 9th goes to Aiden Kakalasa, 8th is Lawson Brown, 7th Landon Wright, 6th Luke Wright, 5th, Brittany Mason. 4th, Talia Mootsmoot. 3rd, Will Peacock. 2nd goes to Colby Taylor. And winning 12th grade showmanship, Carly Pascal. So again, Carly Pascal and Colby will come to the announcer table, please. Pee Wee showmanship. So we have our grade champion 12th grade showman is Miss Carly, and our reserve 12th grade showman was Colby. So they're going to judge our awesome, very hard class of Pee Wee showmanship. So let's go ahead and enter the ring, however we want to do it. This one's asleep. There we go. Guild Show. So the next, after this awesome class is in the ring right now, we will start with our Breeding Guild Show. I have not made first call for that though, so first call has not been made for Breeding Guild, but it will be soon.
Thanks everybody for coming out to this show. We really both think that all of these young people did such a great job. We'd also like to thank the parents for being the kids in this industry at such a young age. It really does help a lot. They all did a great job with eye contact and everything else, but we both decided that they all did so good, so they're all winners. So.
Wow, I know that was tough on our two judges with such great showing in the ring. So thank y'all so very much for that. We are going to take not call a break, but just a breather, I guess you would say, as we reset before the next show. These are all January 1st. And show judge with more than 4 decades of experience in purebred and commercial swine industries. Raised on his family's Yorkshire hog farm in southwest Georgia, Mr. Gary developed a passion for livestock at an early age and built a career dedicated to advancing the swine industry. In 1985, Mr. Gary began his professional career as a field representative serving the Yorkshire, Hampshire, and Chester white breeds throughout the southeast. He later became an exclusive Yorkshire fieldman, working with breeders and exhibitors across the United States and helping promote genetic improvement and youth livestock programs. Throughout his career, he has evaluated livestock shows at local, state, regional, and national levels, and is widely recognized for his knowledge of swine structure, performance, and production. His lifelong dedication to the swine industry and youth livestock programs has made him one of the most respected and sought-after swine judges in the region. Please let us give him, Mr. Gary Childs, a warm welcome this morning and this afternoon as he sorts our pig classes.
Well, thank you, and it's good to be here with y'all this afternoon. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. And before we get to going here, this is my first time here at this facility. I know it's been going several years, and I just want to recognize one of my dearest friends in the world, who's the manager at this thing, and he's done a terrific job. So if you would, thank Mr. David Burton and his crew for what they do. I don't know, we were talking this morning in his office, and I've had the opportunity over the course of the time to go to a lot of fairgrounds, pig shows all over the country, and I don't know that I've ever been heck to a state fairground with this kind of leadership and with this kind of county support, so that they've got this many people dedicated to a facility like this. This is a very unique thing, and I congratulate the Jackson County people and the Board of Commissioners and that put this together. So it's an honor for me to be here. I knew he'd do it right, never doubted it, but I'm very, very impressed. So it's good to be here this morning. It's good to see all of y'all out here today. I'm going to get a lot of this stuff out of the way, because once we get to rolling, we've got about 400 to look at. Once we get to rolling, we're going to roll. I think these 4 Berkshires that we've got out here represent some good in each of them. They're Januaries, and they should have some size. The one that I'm going to start the class off with is the one that I think is just really big-bodied and heavy-boned, hinges out of her hip and rear leg extremely good. I would maybe improve or underline here on one side just a little bit in the breeding gilt class, but they look functional to me. I don't necessarily see a problem with that. Young lady in the purple shirt is going to have the class winner in this particular time. I like her rib shape. I like the extra volume and center that she's got in her. The young man here with the blue shirt is going to be second in this class. And when she first got here, I thought, well, that was plenty good enough to win a class. It feels very correct. She's very sound. She's good out of her hip and rear leg. You know, she doesn't have quite as much fore end. She doesn't have quite as much center and flank in her at this stage as the gift that we started the class off with. that's the dilemma we get into in the industry anymore. This is what you call a look hog, and the class winner's kind of a power hog. And we're going to probably have that debate all day. I'm not going to tell you every time I'm not going to go with power. There may be times where the look hog is the one who brings the most quality to the table to me. But I favor the yoke that started the class in terms of dimensions. True heaviest is skeleton and four-rib is what separated those 1 and 2 for me. Young lady here, the young lady's just going to be third in this drive. And that just for a bird, got a great big top, big square hip. She's not as square up to her chest and as good up to her front end probably as either one of those gilts that are 1 and 2 in the class, but we really admire the amount of muscle that she's got working in her. Young man's gilt here in 4 probably is one that's off a little bit, maybe hasn't grown and performed. Might have had some health issues for January out here at this stage, but she's a real nice gilt. If we get her healthy, growing and turning, there's really not a lot that you can be real critical of her at, other than she's just not quite big enough for her age.
To Lawson Wilney, third, Savannah Cantrell, second, Aiden Tuckwitz, and winning class 1 is Bailey Ball.
There's some good to her from a breeding standpoint. In a show hog setting today, I didn't think she was quite square enough. I didn't think she was just quite opened up enough in front of the rear.
Next in the ring is our class 3 of our Berkshire purebred gilts. These gilts are all March born.
A little bit of give and take in this particular class, and I think for me it comes down to kind of a two-horse race. That lady in the black shirt and the young lady here in the burgundy shirt with the white letters on the sleeve, and that's a pretty close call in my opinion. They both got big tops in them. They both one's probably got a little more roundness out of her hip than the other one, and actually in these Berkshires especially, I'm liking a little longer, flatter muscle. I think they'll function a little better, and you're going to get pigs out of them a little better, maybe than some of those hogs that get just a little tighter. So I'm going to go ahead and use the young lady with the burgundy shirt. I think that one has really got a lot of muscle. She's got a big top. When she gets to going, I actually like her to drive her quicker than what she's doing for the most part. It looks really impressive and have that much muscle and bone when she gets to growing or gets to going and going fast. And that's when she looks the best for sure. But then the young lady there with the black shirt, with her gilt right here, is that gilt. You know, I could make a pretty good case, and for those that don't think that that's an issue, that she's a little rounder up at the top of her hip, might prefer this gilt. For me, it came down, she's a little rounder. I open her up just a little bit, particularly in her front knee and down at the ground in relation to the gilt that we beat her with in this class. But that's a nice gilt that if she grows, develops, and matures and softens, then she might can get around that class winner because she does have a little more just natural product in her, I think. But she makes me a little more terminal and a little rounder for a breeding hog today. Third's going to be the gilt here right in front of me. That's really the modern kind of boxing one that we got out here. Just not messed up anywhere. That feels sound, that feels practical. She's very fresh in her appearance. She's got great big legs, and the leg size is what gets her to be third. Fourth is going to be the young lady here in front of me with the other black shirt. Front 2/3 pretty good in that hog. Keeping rear leg needs to be a little better. Five's going to be the other young lady. We've had four of her black shirts, but this one a little bit frailer. I like the length of body this hog's got. She's really, really sound. She just needs to have more power up through her front end, and she used to just have more rib and body and move up any higher in this very competitive class.
All right, it is now time for our champion Berkshire Purebred Breeding Champion Drive. Representing Class 1 is Bailey Ball. Her first place in that class. Representing 2 is Blakely Johnson with her first place from Class 2. He was our champion in that class. And from Class 3, we have Abby Gabriel.
Well, if you would with me, before I tell you which one of these I like the best, congratulate all 3 of these exhibitors and all the Berkshire exhibitors that we've had. This has been a very competitive show. I think these 3 gillets would more than hold their own at about any level of competition that you're going to put them in. For me, this kind of gets down to a 2-horse race, and there's some differences in them for sure. And I always revert back to something that an old friend of mine, Burton over here, Steve Nichols, used to say once in a while. If you got a big one that ain't messed up, that's probably the best one. And I'm kind of going to stick with that today. I like the January bill to be the champion Berkshire bill today. You get that big, say that sound, and still have that much quality, that we better not forget that in this industry. I like their quality. Didn't make this decision any easier at all. I'll be honest with you, I saw the young man just drive her across the concrete out there as I was coming in to judge, and I thought, man, that's a pretty nice Berkshire bill. If she keeps to be champion out here today, we're going to have a very good Berkshire show. But then we got the little girl still in here, little red-headed girl who still comes in, and that one has some things that read to me like a breeding hole. I like her balance, I like her squareness, I like her heaviness of bone. She probably is not quite as good at her hip and rear leg from the hawk down and the Western Union guys with hawk and rear leg. In some people's definition is what the bigger deal is in a very, very close call. And that's what's going to separate it. In a very, very close call, I like to think with the Breeders' Certified. Well, for third overall, we have a fair amount of skill, so we don't really got time classes because she's got an awful lot of muscle. She gets a little bit ring shy. I'm very intrigued with this young lady here with the red hair. That deal really suits me, and I'm old enough that the kind of the way she handles her hawk and her leg doesn't probably bother me quite as bad as it does some of these younger guys that hold to a little different standard maybe than I do. Because I think that one is really stout. I think she's really heavy structured. She's definitely the biggest footage of all of them that we've had a chance to look at. I'm probably getting a chance to go ahead and reward that young lady and that little deal, because I think that one has got a very, very bright future. You have to congratulate the young lady for the red hair. She's going to have
Congratulations to our champion drive of our Berkshire Purebred breeding gilts. Our champion comes out of Class 1 and is exhibited by Bailey Ball. Our reserve champion Berkshire comes out of Class 1 and is exhibited by Aiden Packles. Please come tell me how to say that. I'll say it better. And our third overall comes out of Class 2 and is exhibited by Blakely Johnson. Congratulations. Is Class 4 of our Duroc Purebred breeding gilts. There are 2 entries in this class and they are Januaries.
Quality gentlemen, and both of them's got some places I should probably change it a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and start with the young lady here with a red shirt over here to my right. I think that's the best balanced one. I think she's got the least amount of holes in her today. She's big down at the ground. She's got a nice pop in her. She gets a little flatter right in behind her blade probably, but that's been typical of a pretty nice gilt. It's got a really good upper hip. And the way she hinges and handles that's very good. Second place gilt is one that's, I'm calling her a fairly heavy bone, heavy structure kind of a gilt. She's a little bit behind in terms of performance to the gilt that we started the class off with, and that doesn't help this situation. I didn't, in spite of the fact that I'm calling her probably a little heavier skeleton, maybe a little heavier bone than the class winner, I just didn't think she had enough horsepower up to her front end and right to her center to go ahead and get that class winner.
Congratulations to Class 4. Our Duroc is the first class of Duroc Purebred breeding gilts that we have today. And second is Emma Bennett, and winning that class is Sadie Winchester. Congratulations. Next up is we have our second class of Duroc Purebred breeding gilts. These are February.
I kind of want to look at again, and I'm going to go ahead and play 5, 6, 7, and 8 so they can go on back to the barn and we can keep things cycling through pretty quick. Young man here in the black shirt is going to have a 5th place gilt, and you know, that's a very, very high quality gilt. She gets a little bit soft right in the center of her back, and I've been critical of that. He's got her cranked up and going good. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know if we could get her down in the pen or not. We got a lot of hopes to show, but and she wasn't going to win the class, but she's killed today. 6 is going to be the young man right here with the front, the really stout gilt for the front 2/3 of her body. She gets a little straighter off both ends than I prefer, but there's certainly some good in her. 7 is going to be the young man with the real stout-headed gilt going towards the north direction there. That's almost a little bit too mature of a head for me at this stage, and I know that the ball is extremely important in the show hog world today, but for me, that's a little bit quicker maturing than what I absolutely love through her head and neck. This next gilt is going to be aimed at a high quality gilt. She doesn't balance quite as well. She wants to hinge and get a little bit unbalanced and a little too wide right through her stifle for me, but she's a good quality gilt. All 8 of these gilts are pretty good. We congratulate these young people with these. They go back to the barn and place these first call.
You can charge your iPad a little bit. I'll go in your room.
Four nice gilts in this class for sure, and you know, I think it comes down to me for a pair of them that are they're very square, they're very sound, they're athletic and agile as they get out here on this green carpet and the way they're able to get it and go. I think it's fairly close. One of them today probably has got just a little more prod and a little more muscle, and still extremely sound and level in her design. Maybe not quite as big-legged, but I'm going to go ahead and let the power trump the big-legged in this case, because she's certainly not chicken-legged by any stretch. I like the young lady in the blue shirt that has a class winner in this drive. That gilt just suits me from a balance and a correctness standpoint. She's really stout. She's got a big hip in her. That's a very nice gilt. Second's going to be the young man in the orange shirt, and she's the big-legged one in the class. We can all see that, and she represents the production things that I think are very good. She fell out of bed for me just a little bit in relation just to the amount of muscle, true muscle that she had going away, but man, she's sound, she's really stout, just not quite as balanced as the gilt at the start of the class. All good. A third's going to be the gilt here that the young lady in the yellow shirt's got, and I really thought when she came in that this one was going to be a handful to feed, and she's very good. The area that we've got to fix her in relation to the gilts that feed her there in first and second, she comes together at her front knees a little bit too much for me. After I've said that, I really like the flexibility that she's got. I like the soundness that she's got. I like the heaviness of skeleton that she's got. If we fix her in one place, this is a 3-horse race, and it's kind of going to be every yoke for themselves, because all 3 of those are lifetime to be very high quality year-old gilts. Young lady's gilt here in 4, losing body sound coming out of her front end, wants to push just a little bit on this left front leg. Lots of muscle, we appreciate that. Just a little tighter and more restricted as she gets and moves away coming in the door today.
Congratulations to our Class 5 of Duroc Purebred Breeding Gilts. Placings for that class in 8 is Tate Harkins, 7, Owen Bridges, 6, Tanner Posey, 5th, Lawson Brown, 4th, Savannah Cantrell, 3rd, Michaela Claxton, 2nd, Carson Page, and with Class 5 is Chloe Vaughn. Congratulations. Now entering is Class 6. It's the 3rd class of Duroc Purebred Breeding Gilts. These are all for, well, we have March and April in this class. March and April. We have another set of prizes to announce. So if your name is called, if you will come up to the announcer table, we have a prize for you. We need Caitlin White, Tanner Posey, Blakely Johnson, Hadley Roberts, and Charlie Fleming. Again, Caitlin White, Tanner Posey, Blakely Johnson, Hadley Roberts, and Charlie Fleming.
I'm sorry.
we talked that deal that's coming out in third in that February class, and if I could change her in one spot, I could like her equally as well as I do that champion and reserve champion, and she needs to be a little better in that spot for show pick or show hog for sure. So I guess it's a good close between her and a little March deal in my opinion. Again, at this spot, I'm more comfortable projecting a little bit, especially the one that I think is really square and on the way up. Really congratulate the young lady here, Yellow Shirt. She's going to have her third overall.
Congratulations to our Durrock champion drive. Our champion comes out of Class 5 and is exhibited by Chloe Vaughn. Our reserve champion Durrock also comes out of Class 5 and is exhibited by Carson Tate. And our third overall comes out of Class 6 and is exhibited by Anthony Johnson. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is our first class, Class 7 of our Hampshire Purebred breeding gilts. Are all Januaries.
Well, we've got real high quality Hampshire deals out here, and yet there's one that just kind of, for lack of a better way to put it, sticks out like a sore thumb, just in terms of one that's really heavy bone, really athletic and agile, immaculate preparation, big foot, heavy bone. The fine one is packing that much stuff, and to be able to move and go off both ends like she does, and especially in this breed that sometimes they say has been struggling a little bit to make hogs really, really good. Well, that one's really, really good. Let me congratulate the young man here on the left. He's going to have a class winner with one that stands quite a bit of competition at this stage in the game. Second's going to be a deal that's a little more immature at this stage, and that's not a bad thing. We got a ways to go. I know they're showing these January, I think they're showing these January gilts at the fair, and so that's a long time still between now and January. This gilt is going to be second to young man here with the Mara Belt. She's a high quality gilt. She's just there to have a match, and we mentioned today that class winning gilt does, but she's high quality, she's square, she's sound, she just needs to keep doing things that she's doing to go ahead and beat that gilt that we started the class all good. Third's going to be a real heavy muscle, big back deal. It gets a little bit shorter in her front end and a little shorter hip, maybe than the Gilson we got in first and second. But she's a good deal. I don't know just how big she's going to be in the end game. That was my question in relation to the Gilson we had in first and second for her out here today. But that third is not a bad spot for that deal today. Just for that to see what happens. The back leg's big and good and correct. That's good there. Horse going to be a young lady here in the black shirt, and I like the frame size and immaturity for a breeding gilt that gilt's got. She needs more bone. She needs a little more opened up. Five's going to be the young man's gilt that really got a lot of muscle. She's just a little tight, a little too wound up, and a little terminal for me today out here on a breeding gilt. I think that there's certainly some good in her. It's kind of a little time will tell. As she matures and develops, as she softens some and loosens up, she'll probably be fine.
Congratulations to our Class 7, our first class of Hampshire Purebred Breeding Gilts. Placings are in 5th, Matt Burnett. 4th, Hattie Claire Sconyers. 3rd, Easton Maddox. 2nd, Cody Taylor. And winning Class 7 is Carson Hayes. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is Class 8. There are 4 entries in this class, and they're all February's.
Well, I think this is fairly competitive here between the pair of these gilts that we've got out here. And yet for me, there's one that represents a lot of quality. I like the young lady here with the paisley shirt that has the class winner. That gilt is really immature. Looks like, again, she's on the way up. I like where she's at for a February Hampshire. She's really sound. She's got a beautiful head and neck. Her hip carriage is very good. I call her a Hogan's feminine, and yet still got some natural structure. Her back is big. Her joints are clean. Her hip and rear leg's very good. That one's going to be a handful come October. In relation to the January gilts, she's not as far advanced just in terms of heaviness of bone, but man, that one's pretty good when you break it all down. Second's going to be the young lady's gilt here in the center of the ring that again, has a very maternal, productive look and appearance in her muscle pattern and through her rib and through her center portion of her body. I think that's very, very good. She doesn't have quite just the extra heaviness and structure that class winning gilt had, but again, one has got a fairly bright future in my opinion. Third's going to be the young lady over here in the pink shirt to my left, and that gilt's really packed in a load. She's got a big back, she's got a lot of muscle, she's got a big wide rib there. For me, she's just a little tighter, a little more restricted from the hop down to the ground in relation to those gilts that we had in first and second. Young lady's gilt is 4th here in this class is one that's an intriguing hog to me in some ways. I mean, the flexibility that she's got all both ends, I think is very intriguing. I would like to see her have a little bigger appendages just in terms of toe size and foot and bone, but she's very long. She's extremely mature. That makes her a huge one of these days. If everything comes together, she balances up right, she can have a better day than what I'm calling her today. But she needs to balance a little better for what we're looking for in the show.
Congratulations to our Class 8 of Hampshire Purebreds. Placing in 4th is Lawson Wellnum. 3rd, Callie Cantrell. 2nd, Brooklyn McLeish. And winning Class 8 is Carly Harrell. Congratulations. We are now ready for our final drive of our champion drive of our Hampshire Purebred breeding goats.
We've got a lot of hogs, and what I know what I'm going to do, there's no point in standing out here scratching my ear and making y'all wait, and I hope you appreciate that. And if I need to slow down and take time and think through it, I'm going to tell you. That's the point I want to leave you with. But in this setting today for Champion Hampshire, I'm not taking anything away from this little gilt. There's no beating the gilt that won the January class in my mind. Help me congratulate the young man in the orange shirt. He's going to have a Champion Hampshire gilt. She could stand the toughest competition at the highest level. I hope the young lady that little gilt understands how complimentary that I am of her gilt and where she's going to wind up. Don't be disappointed with that little gilt lady. You just keep working with her and let her mature and develop. So she's got the things it takes to be very elite at the end. She's a little green and mature today in relation to the gilt that was second to that champion. And this gilt's very good in her own right. You talk about one that's very feminine and very immature, still got enough structure, in my opinion. You know, today her legs didn't look as big or as hairy as the gilt that we beat her with in class. We could all see that. But I want you to appreciate the femininity, the design that that gilt's got, the correctness, all both things that she has. Again, look for her to mass and develop and continue. I like the second place January to be reserved champion. I like the young man's gilt third, the champion reserve in that first class, and as we talked her in class, my question is she a big enough frame hog to keep going on into September and October when it cools off and these hogs really go back to growing? And she's not as athletic and doesn't have the range of mobility that little gilt's got. And I'm going to kind of roll the dice here and say this little one coming state fair time or later in the fall is going to get all of them. All they will have to congratulate the young lady here with the final class winning the third overall.
Congratulations to our champion Hampshire division. Our champion comes out of Class 5 and is exhibited by Carson Page. Our reserve champion also comes Class 7, Our reserve champion also comes out of Class 7 and is exhibited by Colby Taylor. And our third overall Hampshire Purebred comes out of Class 8 and is exhibited by Carly Harrell. Congratulations. There are 9 entries in this class. There's 1 January and the rest are February's.
We pulled out 4 to rework out here, then I'm gonna go ahead and place 5, 6, 7, 8, and so forth. 5's gonna be this real big footed gilt, this young lady right here to my left, John, and there's some good in her for sure. She's got big legs and her toes are big and round. I like that about her. She just doesn't have quite enough to her. 6 is going to be the young man's real heavy muscle gilt that we've got working here. She needs a little more bone. She needs to be a little more square and then bigger down to the ground to move up any higher. Then we've got the long body gilt that the young man's got over here to my left. That's going to be 7th, and that gilt's really correct and sound. She needs to go ahead and match and sure go ahead and get competitive with the show ring setting. Next is going to be the one that has won the show very well, and that just got good length of body. She just needs to have more rib to go ahead and move up. And And the next one is kind of a unique one for sure. I took for Yorkshire breed deal for me. I put another probably 2 ribs in and make her longer, but you know, where she's good, I guess she's pretty good. But you know, she's got a pretty nice kind of little work to get in and some of that. But she's always going to be a couple of ribs short in my opinion. But nice deals for those young people to go back. We'll work these first 4 again. High quality, she's well presented, she's sound, she's good looking whole, she's got a big body, good ribbon, she's opened up, she's balanced, and yet she's got some pretty big parts and pieces. Her blade is big, her hip is big. Just for her to really continue to just grow and develop and be an outstanding nursery female. Second is going to be the young lady who closest to me with the lip that's a little greener in relation to the one that's going to be third and fourth. But I like the quality of that deal. And when she lets her get out and go, that deal's got the kind of balance, she's got the kind of scope of correctness that allows her to get out and run and do those things that she's good with really good freedom and ease of movement. She's green, she's not nearly as advanced. That's probably in January, and that was probably a February legit. You know, we need to just let her grow, get her growing as quickly as we can, let her mass and develop. That's a very nice hope to be second in this drive. Third's going to be the young man's deal that's kind of giving me trouble from start to finish. There's things that I like. She gets a little bit peachy to you. She comes together at her front knees just a little more than I think to be ideal. She twists out of her hind end just a little, but she's got a nice deep rib, she's got a big back and a lot of muscle, just a little bit unbalanced and not correct enough off of each end. Fourth, we have another one that's got extra good length of body. Her front feet are just a little bit long and her hamstrings are a little bit long to suit me. They've just got a huge hip in her, but she handles that part of it pretty well in my opinion. There's some quality there. I just like to reconstruct her through her front end. Might even make up just a little bit for where we're at this day and time. The biggest concern that I have though is just the length of pasturing that she's got this early in the game. She's probably going to have some issues with it.
Congratulations to our Class 9 exhibitors. Placings for this class. In 9th place is Owen Bridges. 8th, Steele Smith. 7th, Keatsman Ware. 6th, Keaton Acree. 5th, Blake Barnes. 4th, Georgia Ledford. 3rd, Braden Peters. 2nd, Shiloh Cole. And winning Class 9 of the Yorkshire Breeds is Brody Ball. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is Class 10 of Yorkshire. There are 3 entries in this class, and they are all March born.
Got a good look up her head and neck at this stage. She looked like one that's on the way up. Hip and rear leg in her is pretty good. There's a spot or two I've changed her, but I like where she's at for a March Archer at this stage. Second's going to be the young lady in the golden shirt. There on the far right. I think that one's just got a little more stuff to her today, especially when you hear down her back and right at the top of her blade. She's more opened up and has more expression. We can get a little bit with her in her front feet and some of that in her head and neck just a little. But I felt like just the mass and the power that she had got her to be second over the young lady's deal here is going to be third. And that deal's got a real immature head. And I like that about her, but she doesn't bleed as good from her shoulder blade back into her loin as I wish that she did out here for the young lady. She's got a little rounder, a little more terminal look to me today. At this stage, that may not be all bad, but she'll just go ahead and freshen up and soften up as she gets older. Very nice trio of deals from the which one of those going to have a champion Yorkshire. Again, not a lot of numbers in this Yorkshire show, but it comes down to one that, again, I don't think there's any beating her. I don't think there's any denying her. In my mind, she's the one that wins and wins fairly easily today. Let me congratulate the young lady closest to you. She's going to have a champion Yorkshire. This gets a little closer in my opinion. The young man's milk that wins the second class has probably got a little bigger feed and a little heavier bone. She's a little bit caved in the front end, and I'm a little critical of that. Again, she's got big feet, great hip and rear leg in her. Then we got the young lady's built down here. It's so sound and big footed. Her blade action correctness up through her rib and forerib makes me think she's got a chance of being a really elite Yorkshire female when it's all said and done. She's probably got the least amount of fit on her as anyone that I've used this high today, but she suits me the second best. And then congratulations to the young lady here with a red stick. She's going to have a third champion Yorkshire. Third place deal in that class, and the first class comes out, and as we talked, she's got an awful lot of muscle, but she gets a little too unbalanced, a little piecier for me, particularly up to her front end, and then just kind of like to make her more square out of her hip and rear leg. That's one area this little girl is really good. She's got a great hip and rear leg. She's got really big toes. I like the structure that she's got. I like her up to her head and neck. What got her to be third versus reserve today? She caves in just a little bit. Congratulations to the young lady with the blue shirt. She's going to be third over there.
Congratulations to our Yorkshire champion breed division. Our champion comes out of class 9 and is exhibited by Bernie Ball. Our reserve champion also comes out of class 9 and is exhibited by Shadow Pull. And our third overall comes out of class 10 and is exhibited by A.M. Capilex. Congratulations. These are all January born.
I think we're in pretty good shape here on the top 2 or 3 in this class, and yet I've heard there's one that screams, "Look at me," and maybe it's just because she's the only white one out here, but I think she also represents the most quality, and that's going to be the young lady here with the yellow shirt. She's going to have the class winner. That's soundness, that's flexibility, mobility, completeness, and balance all in this package. She's an easy class winner out here for me today. Second card gets to be a little closer. We've got one that's really got a lot of power, and I like that. You know, I'd maybe give her a little better range of motion. And then we've got one that maybe doesn't have quite as much power, and yet I don't call her just getting going and being able to reach a gear much better than the one that's got the most power. So I'm going to use the young lady with a red ribbon in her hair over here with that Girl Scout gilt to be second behind the white gilt. Third's going to be the young lady here in the green shirt, and that gilt's practically a practical big kind of a gilt. I don't know if she's got nearly as much just internal dimension and rib and body. She is opened up to her chest over pretty good. She gets a little crusty at the top of the pole of her neck just a little. I'm reading her being a little shorter hip. If we could make her just go and get a little sounder, and she's just probably better going to the pin than she had any other time during the class. But we might have to be able to call her a little sounder, might swap those too. Fourth's going to be this young lady's gilt right here that fundamentally is a very sound, high quality gilt. She's opened up, she's square from front to rear. My biggest thing with her is she's got that little bit of a screw tail, and I'm not a big fan of those, and so trying to figure out just exactly where to place her in on this thing, that could be a little bit of a challenge, but if you like her, that's fine. There's an awful lot of quality in her for sure. The next is going to be the young man over here with the spot gilt, and that gilt's got some good in her. She's got some rib and body. She gets a little bit plainer in her muscle. Then we got the young lady's Hartford gilt that follows next, and that gilt just needs more bone and be more opened up from front to rear in this class. Good job.
Congratulations to our first class of AOB Purebred Breeding Gilts. Placing for that class in 6th is Amy Cole. 5th, Kristen Bryson. Is it Kristen or Bryson? Let me know for sure. Claxton. 4th, Reagan Parker. 3rd, Mallory Raines. 2nd, Emerson Garner. And winning class 11 is Ansley Johnson. Congratulations. Now in Marina's class 12, these are all February born.